Man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. This famous quote by Rousseau perfectly captures the essence of modern society. According to him, humans are inherently good and free. However, modern civilization has alienated humans from their true nature, leading to conformity, inequality, and a loss of freedom. This video will focus on understanding Rousseau's criticisms and their relevance to our present day. Rousseau equates the natural state of man with a simple and peaceful life. The natural man fulfills his needs through basic means. He envies no one nor seeks superiority. However, everything changed the moment someone fenced off a piece of land and declared, "This is mine." This marked the beginning of private property and consequently social inequality. Humans, once equal, were now divided by artificial statuses like wealth and power. Rousseau calls this social inequality and emphasizes its difference from natural inequality. While variations in physical abilities are acceptable to some extent, the economic and social classes created by modern society usurp the inherent rights of individuals. In modern society, it's not just inequality, but also the moral decay of humanity that stands out. Rousseau argues that science and art have not made humans happier or more virtuous. On the contrary, these advancements have alienated individuals from each other, separating them from nature and their true selves. People are now focused on how they appear to others, how they are judged, and how much approval they receive. This creates a phenomenon that Rousseau calls social masks. People distance themselves from their true identities and become beings who live solely to gain societal approval. Human nature? One of the oldest riddles in human history. Who are we? When we shed the clothes society dresses us in, the roles it gives us, what remains? Rousseau introduces the idea of the natural man. According to him, humans are inherently good and honest beings. Nature has endowed him with only the instinct for self-preservation and the ability to understand the suffering of others. But society corrupts this pure and innocent being. According to Rousseau, private property is the first step towards this sin. With the distinction between mine and yours, competition, jealousy, and inequality arise. Rousseau's ideas in his work The Social Contract are crucial. Inequality grows and tyranny replaces justice. This is the sorry state of modern society in Rousseau's eyes. Modern society prides itself on technological advancements, scientific discoveries, and economic growth. But beneath this glittering surface lies a deep decline of human nature. The competitive system traps individuals in a constant race. Success is measured by money and social status. In this relentless race, people lose their true selves and start living according to the expectations of others. Social pressure forces individuals to conform to certain molds. Those who are different, those who are extraordinary, are excluded and ostracized. Modern man is lonely. Lost in the crowds, he lives a life devoid of genuine connections. While social media creates an illusion of virtual closeness, real-life relationships are weak. Feelings of empathy and solidarity are fading. So, where will this path lead? How long can human nature withstand these destructive effects of modern society? Or, as Rousseau predicted, are we doomed to complete corruption? Inequality is one of the oldest and deepest wounds in human history. Societies have always been divided into different classes, groups, and statuses. But in modern society, inequality has become even more complex and insidious. So, where do the roots of this poisonous tree lie? According to him, the root cause of inequality is private property. Owning land, possessing the means of production, gives one group power and privilege over others. Over time, this leads to the formation and solidification of a social hierarchy. In modern society, economic systems further exacerbate inequality. Capitalism encourages competition, leading to the continuous enrichment of the winners and the impoverishment of the losers. Even access to basic rights like education and healthcare is shaped by class differences. The consequences of inequality are dire. Poverty, crime, violence, social unrest. Moreover, inequality prevents people from reaching their full potential. Talented and hard-working individuals are unable to achieve their dreams solely due to class barriers. Modern society turns individuals into actors. Everyone is forced to act according to the roles defined by society, to fit into certain molds. Concepts like success, happiness and beauty are standardized and imposed on people. This is precisely where Rousseau's concept of social masks comes into play. People constantly wear different masks to hide their true selves and gain the approval of others. These masks become so internalized over time that individuals forget their true faces. Social media is one of the most prominent examples of this fakeness. People constantly manipulate themselves and their lives to showcase their perfect lives and gain more likes and followers. Real thoughts, feelings, and vulnerabilities are carefully concealed. This spiral of fakeness leads people to deep unhappiness, because in trying to meet the expectations of others, they abandon their own desires, dreams, and values. They lose their authenticity. Modern society promises individuals more freedom than ever before. Supposedly, we can live as we please, dress as we please, think as we please, but in reality this freedom is only superficial, because modern man is surrounded by invisible chains. Consumer society bombards individuals with constant new needs and desires. The advertising industry tries to convince us that the secret to happiness lies in a new phone, a fancy car, or an expensive vacation. People feel like they exist as they consume. The media constantly pumps certain ideologies, lifestyles, and thought patterns. Individuals lose their critical thinking skills and start acting with mob mentality. Those who are different are crushed between the gears of the system. Modern man, while thinking he is free, has actually become a slave to the system. He lives according to the values imposed by society instead of his own desires, needs, and values. This leads to a profound crisis of meaning and an existential void. Economic systems play a significant role in the creation of social inequalities. Private property is one of the fundamental sources of inequality. The capitalist system praises competition and claims that free market forces will ensure equality. However, capitalism leads to the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Large corporations use their influence on governments to protect their own interests. Economic inequality also leads to inequality in access to basic rights, such as healthcare, education, and justice. Rousseau, deeply disappointed with the corrupted modern society, calls for a return to nature. According to him, humanity can only rediscover its inherent goodness and purity by reconnecting with nature. However, this does not mean going back to a primitive way of life. Returning to nature is more about returning to one's inner nature, conscience, and reason. It means seeking true happiness and freedom by breaking free from the artificial needs, false values, and superficial relationships imposed by society. According to Rousseau, education should be restructured in a way that is compatible with human nature. Children should be raised in an environment where they can freely explore, develop their creativity, and utilize their critical thinking skills. Returning to nature also means adopting a simpler, more modest, and more sustainable lifestyle. It is essential to move away from the frenzy of consumption and learn to live in harmony with nature. The ideas expressed by Rousseau in the 18th century remain surprisingly relevant even today. The deepening of social inequalities, the growing environmental crisis, and the isolating effects of technology all seem to confirm Rousseau's predictions. Of course, it is not possible to apply all of Rousseau's ideas directly to our time. However, his observations on human nature, the social contract, and the concept of freedom can still guide us. So how can we, as individuals, break free from the molds imposed by modern society, the frenzy of consumption, and the pursuit of false happiness, and create a more free, more egalitarian, and more meaningful life? Finding the answer to this question is one of the most important responsibilities of 21st century humans. While Rousseau's ideas paint a pessimistic picture, there's no reason to despair. Humans by nature are beings open to change and transformation. It is possible to create a more just, free and livable world by taking steps at both societal and personal levels. We need to turn inward and question our true needs. We need to develop a critical distance from the moulds imposed by society. We need to transform the education system into a structure that encourages critical thinking. We need to strengthen empathy and solidarity. We need to take urgent action against the environmental crisis and adopt a sustainable lifestyle. We need to leave a livable world for future generations. We need to be more tolerant of ourselves and each other. Only in this way can we create a society of free and happy individuals.